Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the control center of Earth's defense initiative, her eyes fixed on the massive holographic display showing thousands of unknown vessels emerging from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. The ships appeared as red dots, spreading out in a classic encirclement pattern. She hadn't expected to be right. Not about this. 37 years of preparation, she whispered, touching the worn silver locket at her neck. Inside was a photo of her father, Dr. James Chen, the man who had first detected the alien probe signals. Everyone had called him paranoid when he warned that something was coming. The scientific community had laughed when he proposed creating a secret planetary defense program. Now, as she watched the alien armada approach, she wished he had lived long enough to see his vindication. The massive underground facility beneath the Atacama Desert hummed with activity. Technicians moved with practiced precision, following protocols they had rehearsed countless times but never expected to use. On the primary screen, a message began broadcasting across every communication channel on Earth. People of Terra, this is High Commander Vexthal of the Galactic Empire. Your world has been chosen for integration into our domain. Resistance is unnecessary. You have 6 planetary rotations to submit your surrender. After this grace period, non-compliance will result in immediate planetary pacification. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. 6 days. The Galactic Empire had just made their first mistake. Director Chen, her assistant, called out. The Security Council is waiting. Sarah straightened her lab coat and stepped into the quantum communication chamber. Holographic figures materialized around her, the leaders of Earth's Unified Defense Command. General Maria Santos of the South American Alliance spoke first. Dr. Chen, is the Aegis system ready? It's been ready for 15 years, General. We've been improving it ever since we reversed engineered their probe's quantum matrix. Sarah projected a technical overlay onto the shared holographic space. The Galactic Empire uses 6-dimensional quantum fields for their shields. They never developed conventional energy shielding because they discovered quantum manipulation early in their development. It's their greatest strength and their critical weakness. The Chinese premier leaned forward. Explain. They rely entirely on quantum-based technology. Our development path was different. When we found their probe, we didn't just copy their technology. We merged it with our own approaches. They're expecting a pre-quantum civilization. They have no idea we've developed hybrid systems they've never imagined. The president of the African Union nodded slowly. The Lazarus Protocol. Ready for implementation. Sarah brought up another display. We have quantum disruptors hidden in every major population center. The moment they try to establish their quantum fields for orbital bombardment, we'll have their exact frequencies. Their shields will fail, and our conventional weapons will be waiting. And the civilians. The European Chancellor's hologram flickered with concern. The public shelters are ready. We've been building them under the guise of subway expansions and underground shopping centers for decades. The evacuation protocols are in place. When we give the signal, people will think it's just another drill. The Security Council shared knowing looks. For nearly 4 decades, they had maintained the secret, passing it from government to government, leader to leader. The public thought the increased space program funding was about scientific advancement. The massive underground construction projects were attributed to urban development. Every nation had played its part, maintaining the illusion of business as usual while preparing for this very moment. Very well, General Santos said. Director Chen, you have full authorization. Initiate the Lazarus Protocol. Sarah's fingers flew over the quantum interface. Across the planet, hidden systems began powering up. In orbit, seemingly innocent weather satellites reconfigured themselves into weapon platforms. Beneath the oceans, dormant defense arrays awakened. Send the evacuation signal, she ordered. Around the world, civil defense sirens began to wail. On every screen, in every city, emergency alerts appeared. Just as they had practiced in countless drills, people began making their way to the designated shelters. In the Galactic fleet, High Commander Vexthal watched the planetary activity with amusement. The primitives were panicking, just as expected. His sensors showed their primitive projectile weapons moving into defensive positions. How quaint. Launch the quantum field generators, he ordered. Begin standard pacification procedures. The first wave of Kraxan ships moved into position, their quantum fields expanding to create an impenetrable barrier around their vessels. Sarah watched the energy signatures carefully, her hand hovering over the activation switch. "Wait for it," she whispered. The quantum fields reached their peak resonance. Now, across Earth, hidden quantum disruptors activated. The Kraxan shields flickered and failed as their quantum fields collapsed, caught in a feedback loop they had never encountered before. Before they could recover, Earth's primitive defense platforms revealed their true nature. The first volley of hybrid weapons, conventional warheads enhanced with quantum warping technology, streaked toward the unprepared Kraxan ships. Vexthal's shocked expression was caught in the quantum communication feed as the impossible happened. His advanced ships began exploding. "How?" he demanded. "This is impossible. You're a pre-quantum civilization." Sarah opened a channel to the Kraxan command ship. "High Commander, humanity has a message for the Kraxan Empire. We've been expecting you." As the battle began in earnest, Sarah thought of her father again. He had always said that humanity's greatest strength wasn't its technology, but its ability to learn, adapt, and prepare. The Kraxan Empire was about to learn that lesson the hard way. Captain Maya Rodriguez stood at the viewport of the EDF Prometheus, watching the crystalline structures of the Kuiper Belt drift past. To any observer, human or alien, the massive ice formations would appear natural. That was precisely the point. Hidden within these structures was Earth's secret armada, the culmination of 37 years of clandestine shipbuilding and technological development. "Status report," she called out, turning to face the bridge crew. The command center of humanity's most advanced warship hummed with quiet efficiency, its surfaces gleaming with a mix of conventional and quantum-enhanced displays. Lieutenant Commander Jack Chen, Sarah Chen's younger brother, looked up from his tactical station. "The Kraxan fleet has engaged with Earth's orbital defenses, Captain. They've already lost 37 ships to the quantum disruption system." Dr. Chen's strategy worked perfectly. Maya nodded, allowing herself a moment of satisfaction. The Kraxan Empire had no idea they were about to face a two-front war. "Signal the fleet. Begin power-up sequences. Maintain quantum masking until my mark." Throughout the Kuiper Belt, 200 Earth warships began awakening from their decades-long hibernation. These vessels represented a different approach to humanity's defense. While Sarah Chen's team had focused on planetary protection, the Space Force had been preparing to take the fight to the enemy. "Captain," Communications Officer Aisha Patel called out, "Incoming transmission from Fleet Admiral Zhao. Priority 1. The holographic figure of Admiral Lai Zhao materialized on the bridge. Despite commanding humanity's greatest military force, he wore a simple uniform with minimal insignia. Captain Rodriguez, the time has come. The Kraxan Empire has shown their hand and their arrogance. Begin Operation Starbreak." "Understood, Admiral." Maya turned to her crew. "Sound battle stations." Throughout the ship, alert signals pulsed as crews moved to their positions. In the engine room, Chief Engineer Diego Ramirez initiated the hybrid drive system, a fusion of human plasma technology and reversed-engineered Kraxan quantum matrices. "All ships reporting ready, Captain," Jack announced. "Fleet formation Delta is prepared." Maya activated the ship-wide communication system. "Attention all hands. For nearly 4 decades, we've trained for this moment. While Earth preserved peace and advanced its technology, we prepared in secret. The Kraxan Empire believes they're dealing with a primitive species armed with simple projectile weapons. Today, we show them how dangerous such assumptions can be." She paused, looking at the tactical display showing the Kraxan fleet still struggling with Earth's defensive systems. Our ancestors fought wars on land, sea, and air. They learned lessons written in blood about the dangers of underestimating your opponent. We carry their wisdom with us into the stars. The massive ice formations around the fleet began to fragment, revealing the sleek warships hidden within. Each vessel represented a unique fusion of human innovation and adapted alien technology, while the Kraxan Empire had followed a linear path of quantum development. Humanity had created something entirely new. Tactical status of the Kraxan rear guard. Jack studied his displays. Minimal protection, Captain. They're completely focused on the planetary assault. No indication they've detected us. Maya smiled. Another lesson from Earth's military history. Never leave your supply lines unprotected. Helm. Plot intercept course. Target their logistics ships first. An army without supplies is just a group of tourists. The EDF Prometheus moved forward, leading the fleet out of hiding. On its hull, adaptive camouflage shifted, matching the darkness of space. The ship's hybrid drives produced no quantum signature that Kraxan sensors could detect, another advantage of humanity's divergent technological development. In the Kraxan fleet, High Commander Vexthal was growing increasingly frustrated. The primitive planet's defenses were far more sophisticated than any his forces had encountered before. Their quantum fields, the pride of Kraxan military technology, were being disrupted by weapons that shouldn't exist. High Commander. His sensor officer called out in alarm. Multiple contacts appearing behind our formation. Vexthal turned to the rear tactical display just in time to see the impossible. A massive fleet of ships emerging from the outer system. Ships that his scouts had somehow missed. Ships that moved with a grace that should have been beyond human capability. Maya watched the Kraxan rear guard scrambling to respond. All ships, execute attack pattern Theta. Remember your training. They rely entirely on quantum fields for defense. Our conventional weapons will pass right through once their shields are down. The Earth fleet split into 3 battle groups, executing maneuvers that would have been familiar to any student of naval warfare. The Kraxan ships, arranged in rigid formations optimized for quantum field deployment, found themselves unable to adapt to the fluid, unpredictable movements of the human vessels. First blood to us, Jack reported as Earth's ships opened fire. Hybrid missiles, combining conventional warheads with quantum disruption fields, struck the Kraxan supply ships. The explosions were silent in space, but their effect on enemy morale was deafening. Maya opened a channel to all Earth forces. The battle for humanity's future begins now. Show them what it means to threaten Earth. Rodriguez out. The stars themselves seemed to shimmer as humanity's hidden fleet engaged the Kraxan Empire, proving that sometimes the best weapon isn't the most advanced technology, but the wisdom to know how to use it. Admiral Krelix of the Kraxan Empire watched in mounting horror as his perfectly ordered battle plan collapsed into chaos. His scaled hands clenched the command chair as another status report arrived from the fleet's quantum network. Impossible, he muttered, watching the tactical display. The humans weren't just fighting back, they were winning. His species had spent millennia perfecting quantum field technology, yet these primitives had somehow developed countermeasures that shouldn't exist. Admiral, his second-in-command, Sub-Commander Vixna, called out, "The supply ships in the outer system are under heavy attack. The humans, they're using some kind of hybrid technology we've never seen before." On the main view screen, Krelix watched as another Kraxan cruiser's quantum fields failed. The ship's hull, designed to be protected by impenetrable quantum barriers, offered little resistance to the primitive but devastatingly effective kinetic weapons that followed. "Show me their attack pattern," he ordered. The tactical display shifted, showing the movements of the human fleet, where Kraxan ships moved in precise, mathematically perfect formations. The human vessels seemed to flow like water, their movements unpredictable yet somehow coordinated. In the midst of the chaos, the human flagship Prometheus engaged a Kraxan heavy cruiser. Krelix watched in fascination as the Earth vessel executed a maneuver that should have been impossible without quantum field stabilization. The ship rolled, presenting its narrowest profile, while launching a spread of hybrid missiles. "Analysis," he demanded. Vixna's fingers danced across her console. "Their ships are using some form of fusion drive technology, but it's been modified with. Admiral, they've somehow merged our quantum principles with their primitive fusion technology. It's giving them capabilities our sensors can't predict." On Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen monitored the space battle from her command center. The quantum disruption network was working better than even she had hoped. Status of the Kraxan fleet's communication network. "Fragmenting," her tactical officer reported. "Their quantum entanglement systems are failing. They're being forced to rely on conventional communications, which our electronic warfare systems are shredding." In the Kuiper Belt, Captain Rodriguez's fleet pressed their advantage. The Prometheus led a daring attack run on a Kraxan battle group, demonstrating warfare techniques developed from centuries of Earth's naval battles. Her ships moved in three-dimensional space, the way ancient submarines had once moved in the ocean depths. "Target their command and control nodes," Maya ordered. "Don't let them coordinate their quantum fields." Admiral Krelix felt his ship shudder as another volley of human weapons struck home. "How are they targeting our weak points? The quantum fields should mask our internal structure." "Admiral," his science officer interrupted, "I've analyzed their weapon signatures. They're not just using our own quantum principles against us. They've developed them along a completely different path. While we focused on pure quantum manipulation, they've created a hybrid technology that operates on multiple levels simultaneously." Krelix remembered his academy training. The Galactic Empire had conquered thousands of worlds, all of which had followed predictable technological development paths. But these humans, they had done something unprecedented. Instead of following the standard progression of quantum technology, they had merged it with their existing scientific principles. "All ships," he commanded, "recalibrate quantum fields to." He never finished the order. A massive burst of quantum energy erupted from Earth's surface, temporarily disrupting every Kraxan system in orbit. In the Atacama facility, Sarah allowed herself a tight smile. The quantum pulse cannon works exactly as predicted. Their standardized field frequencies are their weakness. Hit them again. The Kraxan fleet's rigid command structure began to crumble as ships lost contact with each other. Captains trained to follow precise orders found themselves forced to make independent decisions, something their military doctrine had never prepared them for. "Admiral," Vixna reported, her voice tight with strain, "we're detecting new energy signatures from the third planet. They're not just defending. They're launching a coordinated offensive." Krelix watched as streams of data poured across his displays. The humans had hidden weapons platforms throughout their solar system. What had appeared to be simple mining operations in their asteroid belt were revealing themselves as missile bases. Orbital satellites transformed into weapon platforms. Even their lunar colonies concealed military installations. "How long?" he demanded. "How long have they been preparing for this?" On the Prometheus, Maya received a priority transmission from Earth. Dr. Chen's hologram appeared on the bridge. "Captain, the quantum pulse cannon is fully charged. We're detecting Kraxan reinforcements preparing to jump into the system. Are you in position?" "Affirmative," Maya responded. "All ships are clear of the target zone. Execute Operation Starbreak on your mark." Sarah's finger hovered over the activation control. Decades of preparation, billions in secret funding, and countless hours of research had led to this moment. Initiating quantum cascade. All ships brace for shockwave. The space between Earth and Mars lit up with energy as humanity revealed its greatest secret weapon, a quantum device that turned the very principles of Kraxan technology against them. The cascade wave expanded outward, disrupting every quantum field in its path. Admiral Krelix watched in disbelief as his mighty fleet's primary systems failed simultaneously. The humans hadn't just prepared for war. They had revolutionized the very nature of space combat. As emergency power activated on his flagship, he realized that the Galactic Empire had made a fatal mistake. They had assumed that technological superiority guaranteed victory. Commander David Okafor stood in the launch bay of the EDF Prometheus, conducting final checks on his tactical armor. Around him, 50 members of the Space Force Special Operations Unit prepared for humanity's first space-boarding action. Their armor was a marvel of engineering, lightweight composite materials enhanced with reverse-engineered Kraxan technology. "Remember your training," he addressed his team, his Nigerian accent carrying clearly through the comm system. The Galactic Empire has never faced boarding actions. Their internal security relies entirely on quantum fields. Thanks to Dr. Chen's work, those fields are down. The quantum cascade had worked perfectly, leaving the Galactic fleet vulnerable. Captain Rodriguez's voice came through the tactical channel. "Commander, you have a go. Target is the Galactic heavy cruiser designated Alpha 7. Intelligence suggests it's their primary command and control node for this sector." David checked his hybrid rifle. Another example of humanity's unique approach to warfare. It could fire conventional rounds or emit focused quantum disruption pulses, allowing his team to adapt to any situation they encountered. "Strike team. Launch in 3, 2, 1. The boarding pods shot out from the Prometheus, their profiles masked by the same stealth technology that had hidden Earth's fleet. As they approached the Galactic vessel, David observed its massive hull through the pod's viewport. The alien ship's design emphasized quantum field projection points, never considering the possibility of direct physical assault. "Impact in 10 seconds, his pilot announced. "Their point defense systems are still offline from the cascade." The pod struck the Galactic hull with precision. Magnetic grapples engaging as quantum-enhanced cutting tools began boring through the outer armor. Inside the alien vessel, Galactic crew members reacted with shock to the unprecedented attack. Their combat doctrine had no protocols for repelling boarders. "Breaching charges set," David's tech specialist reported. "We have clean penetration on all points." "Execute breach," David ordered. The charges detonated silently in space, creating entry points into the Galactic ship. "All teams, go, go, go." The human strike force poured into the alien vessel, moving with practiced efficiency. They had trained for years in mock-ups based on data gathered from captured scout ships. David's team took point, advancing through the curved corridors with a combination of ancient military wisdom and futuristic technology. "Contact front." The warning came just as the first Galactic security team appeared. The alien warriors were impressive in their powered armor, but they were unprepared for human combat tactics. David's team split into fire teams automatically, creating overlapping fields of fire, a technique perfected in Earth's urban warfare. "They're trying to reactivate their internal quantum fields," his tech specialist warned. "Local emitters powering up." "Not today," David responded, triggering his rifle's quantum disruption pulse. The alien technology sputtered and died. Without their quantum advantages, the Galactic warriors found themselves in an unfamiliar type of battle, one where superior numbers and physical defenses mattered more than technological supremacy. On the Prometheus's bridge, Maya watched the boarding action through the strike team's combat feeds. "They're advancing faster than expected," she noted. "The Galactic really don't have any close-quarter combat experience." "Why would they?" Jack Chen replied from his tactical station. "Their entire military doctrine is built around quantum field supremacy. They've never needed to fight boarding actions." Inside the Galactic ship, David's team reached a major junction. "Command, we're approaching what appears to be their central control node. Heavy resistance expected." "Understood, Commander," Maya responded. "Be advised, we're detecting power fluctuations in their secondary systems. They might be trying to restore quantum capabilities." David signaled his teams to take up breach positions around the sealed doorway. "Let them try. We've got a surprise for that." He nodded to his demolitions expert, who placed a new type of charge on the door. one that would release a localized quantum disruption field on detonation. Fire in the hole. The breach was perfect. As the smoke cleared, David's team swept into the control center with practiced precision. The Kraxan officers inside found themselves facing something their strategic doctrine had never contemplated: heavily armed human warriors operating inside their supposedly impregnable vessel. Control center secured, David reported, watching as his teams efficiently subdued the alien crew. "You're not going to believe what we're seeing in here, Captain. Their command and control systems are completely exposed. No internal defenses beyond the quantum fields." In the Atacama Command Center, Sarah Chen received the strike team's data feed with growing excitement. The Kraxan never developed conventional security measures, she realized. They relied so heavily on their quantum technology that they neglected basic physical defenses. "Command, you need to see this," David called out. His helmet camera showed captured Kraxan tactical displays. "We're looking at their entire battle network. Fleet deployments, communication protocols, everything." Maya's voice crackled through the comm. "Copy that, Commander. Download everything you can. Admiral Zhao needs to see this." As his tech specialists began accessing the Kraxan systems, David moved to the ship's main viewport. Outside, he could see the ongoing space battle. Earth ships danced through the void, using maneuvers developed from centuries of naval warfare to outflank their technologically superior but tactically rigid opponents. "This is why we win," he said quietly. "Not because we're stronger or more advanced, but because we never forgot the fundamental principles of warfare." The Kraxan Empire put all their faith in one type of technology. Humanity remembered that true strength comes from adaptation and diversity. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the data streaming across her quantum displays, her hands trembling slightly as she processed its implications. The information Commander Okafor's team had retrieved from the Kraxan vessel wasn't just tactical data. It was the key to understanding everything. "Get me Captain Rodriguez and Admiral Zhao," she ordered. Priority Alpha. In space, the battle had reached a crucial phase. The Kraxan fleet, still reeling from the quantum cascade and boarding actions, had fallen back to regroup. The EDF Prometheus led Earth's fleet in a containment formation, preventing the alien ships from concentrating their forces. Dr. Maya's hologram appeared in the command center, alongside Admiral Zhao's. "We've got them on the run, but our quantum pulse cannon needs another hour to recharge. If they manage to restore their field generators." "That's not important right now," Sarah interrupted, her voice urgent. "I've decoded their historical database. The Kraxan Empire, they're not what we thought they were. They're us." Silence filled the quantum communication channel. Admiral Zhao spoke first. "Explain." Sarah projected a series of genetic markers onto their shared display. Their DNA structure, their quantum technology. It all points to the same origin. The Kraxan aren't natural evolved beings. They're engineered. Someone created them thousands of years ago, using human genetic material as a base. On the Kraxan flagship, Admiral Krelix was reaching a similar revelation. His scientists had finally completed their analysis of human biology, and the results were shaking the foundation of everything his people believed. "The similarities are unmistakable," his chief scientist reported. "Our quantum sensitivity, the very trait that led us to develop our technology. It exists in humans too, but they express it differently. While we focused purely on quantum manipulation, they developed it alongside other technologies." Maya's tactical display lit up with warnings. Multiple quantum signatures detecting. "They're trying something new." The Kraxan fleet was moving into a complex formation, their remaining ships generating overlapping quantum fields in a pattern never seen before. Admiral Krelix had reached a decision. If his people were truly derived from humanity, perhaps it was time to acknowledge their shared heritage. "All ships, hold fire," he ordered, opening a broad spectrum channel. "People of Earth, this is Admiral Krelix. We request a parley." In the Atacama facility, Sarah's mind raced with possibilities. The quantum signatures they're generating. They're not weapon formations. They're trying to communicate something in pure quantum states. It's their original language, from before they developed speech. David's voice came through the command channel from the captured Kraxan cruiser. Doctor, the ship's historical archives are showing similar patterns. These quantum formations, they're some kind of ancestral memory. Sarah made a decision. Captain, can you position the Prometheus at these coordinates? I need to try something. Maya studied the position data. That'll put us right between both fleets. If this goes wrong, trust me. The Prometheus moved into position as Sarah transmitted new commands to Earth's quantum network. The planet's defense systems reconfigured, no longer generating disruption fields, but instead creating a complex harmonic pattern. Broadcasting now, Sarah announced. The space between the fleets lit up with quantum energies, but these weren't weapon discharges. They were expressions of pure information, encoded in the very fabric of space-time. On his flagship, Admiral Krillix watched in amazement as his instruments decoded the transmission. It's our creation story. The true one, not the myths we were taught. We were engineered as an experiment in quantum evolution, seated on a distant world while humanity continued on its own path. The quantum sensitivity in your genes, Sarah explained over the now-shared channel. It's a variation of what we call human intuition. Your ancestors were engineered to express it through direct quantum manipulation. But you were never meant to be an empire. You were meant to be explorers, meant to eventually find your way back to Earth. Maya watched as the quantum energies between the fleets shifted, forming patterns of incredible complexity. Doctor, what exactly are we looking at? A reunion, Sarah replied softly. And may be the key to both our species' future. The Kraxan developed quantum technology to its theoretical limits. We developed a broader technological base. Together, Admiral Krillix completed her thought. Together, we could achieve things neither of our civilizations could manage alone. The space battle transformed into something else entirely. A complex dance of quantum fields as two branches of humanity began to reconnect. Ships from both fleets maintained their positions, but now they were sharing data rather than trading fire. In the Atacama Command Center, Sarah opened a direct channel to Admiral Krillix. Your empire has spent centuries conquering worlds, trying to recreate something you couldn't quite remember. But what you were really looking for was right here. Earth. Home. The Admiral's scaled features showed an expression that might have been a smile. Perhaps it's time for the Kraxan Empire to become something new, something that better reflects our true heritage. Not an empire, Sarah suggested, but a bridge. There are things we could teach each other, ways we could grow together instead of fighting. The quantum fields between the fleets pulsed one final time, forming a pattern that both species somehow recognized. The double helix of DNA, rendered in pure quantum energy. It was both an ending and a beginning, a reminder that sometimes the greatest victories come not from destroying your enemy, but from recognizing them as family. Maya looked out at the combined fleets, now floating peacefully in formation. Well, I guess humanity just got a lot bigger. No, Sarah corrected, watching as the quantum patterns danced between ships. Humanity was always this big. We just forgot for a while. Now it's time to remember, and to see what we can become together.